What's up, y'all, man? It's BCA ready for what not for play, man. We about to get into a reaction video. Shout out to my boy Big Beanie, man. Big Beanie just did a dope video, man, talking about forget a roster full of women, man, on retention. I know it's tight. I know the title kind of crazy, but he really talking about some real stuff, man, in this video. So I really want to get into the video, talk about some of the points in this, man, and we're gonna get to it, man. So let's start from the top, y'all.
Oh, what's going on with you guys? So today is day 10 of me posting every single day while I retain to get 1% better. Now, I'm not gonna lie, guys. Your boy just came back from the gym. You know, I feel like I'm getting 1% better every single day. You guys know the gym is super, super important to me. And I want it to be super important to you as well, because while you get 1% better, you need to emphasize on your health, right? So making sure that you at least take your butt to the gym at least 3 to 4 times a week. I go 5 days a week. But I want to make sure you guys are taking care of yourself, because if you want to get 1% better, it's not just retaining your seed and mentally building yourself up. It's also physical, because believe it or not, you going to the damn gym every single day, that also instills discipline within you.
You going to the gym instills discipline in you, man. He just said it. If you on an SR journey, man, you gotta be disciplined. You have to be. You have no choice. If you're serious about the same retention journey, you gotta be disciplined. If you're not disciplined, you're not gonna win, or not actually be able to get to those longer streaks because you're not disciplined. And the gym is the biggest way to exert your sexual energy too. You know, so if you on them type of times, be like, man, I think I'm about to relapse, go to the gym. Like, go to the gym, man. I'm telling you, that hour session, that pump session, whatever it may be, you'll be able to actually see, like, man, okay, I'm glad I put the energy into this. I'm telling you, it's going to help you out in the long run what you're doing there. You're going to be able to actually see the differences within yourself by practicing it. He just said 3 to 5. I say try to shoot for 7, because you obviously not gonna train hard for 7 days, but you need to have your weightlifting heavy days. You need to have your 2 cardio days and your 2 basically active rest days, which would be like probably a basketball or something outside, like a walk or something like that. We still do something, but it's not as strenuous. So, but do something active every single day. And like I say all the time, man, try to look at the hard 75 too. But this is a valid point Big Benny talking about, and I really think everybody on retention should definitely consider a gym regimen. I don't care if it's even a home gym regimen. Just look into some, man. You definitely gotta do that.
So take your ass to the damn gym if you ain't taking your ass to the goddamn gym. Now let's talk about the subject of the matter. Guys, I want to emphasize this. Yes, I talk about women, or at least I've made a few videos about women, especially yesterday, because your boy was heartbroken. I was in my feelings yesterday. But it was really a wake-up call, you know? I feel 10 times better today than I did yesterday, because I was thinking about this one girl. And it was because I'm so used to having a roster. And while I'm trying to get 1% better, that roster talk, like, guys, you don't need a roster. You don't need a roster because it's cool, or because you want to show off to your guy friends. Like, you don't need a roster while you retain, bro. That is dead. Why is that? Why do I say this? You guys know how I talk about getting 1% better every day while you retain? That's life, essentially. Everyone has like this ticking. I said this ticking, but everyone has this clock above their head that we don't know. We don't know when we'll die, right? So imagine you being the guy watching right now. If you're a guy that has 3 or 4 different girls that you can talk to right now, how are you getting 1% better? How do you have enough time to get better if you're entertaining all these women? And I found myself for the first.
Yeah. How are you getting better if you're talking to multiple women on retention? That is a very valid statement he said. Now, I do believe on any type of productive mindset you may have, and this mindset, you're going to want to have some type of female interaction. Even if it's just a text message or something, you're just going to naturally want that, because you're a man. Your masculine energy is going to want to have this support from a woman in some way. Okay? So your mindset during this is going to be like, man, I got to text her or whatever. And there's nothing wrong with communicating with women on retention. So I got to really clarify this. retention is supposed to be a tool, right? It's not supposed to be something that hinders you from your relationships with women. It's supposed to better your relationship with women, right? So if that's the goal of it and that's what it does, you shouldn't be worried about like your timing with them. That makes sense what I'm saying. Like if you know their retention is an intentional journey for you and you talk to a woman or whatever, you should know in certain streak days that this woman is for you or not, or if she's going to be somebody to help the journey gets easier for you. Because sometimes in some situations, man, if you have been in the gym for 2-3 months, man, you ain't even had a kiss from a woman, that kiss is endearing. You're like, man, I can't believe she kissed me. Like that, it could be something like that, that just changes things for you. But he's right that it's really hard for you to actually be able to have a 1% better life when you constantly distracted and entertaining them. There's two different things, distracted and entertaining. It's not distracting if you're doing something and you just text them, hey, how you doing? That's not distracting. Distracting is when you really intentionally create time and space and all of that stuff to spend a lot of time with them, like hours, 4 and 5 hours, or going to a movie is 2 hours and dinner too. That's like 3-4 hours out of the day, right? And you're doing it 3 times a week. That takes a lot of time, right? So that's what he's talking about. Like, how can you do that when you already on a journey to be 1% better, but you're spending 16 to 32 hours a week on a woman? That's what he's saying.
Time in a long time, not having 3 to 4 girls that I can talk to. Instead, I gave it to one girl. Right? This one girl crushed a nigga. Even though that I only knew her for 2 weeks, I feel much better now because it is what it is, bro. Like, it wasn't like I was in a relationship with her. I just had an interest in this girl. But once she broke a nigga heart, I was like, damn, there was no other girls that I was talking to. And then it clicked in my head, bro. How can I expect to get better if I'm thinking about women? Like, think about it, bro. Like, if you're a young guy, I'm only 23 if you guys don't know. I'm a jit. Like, I still consider myself a young adult. Like, I feel like I'm not an adult yet. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't have as many responsibility as an adult. You feel me? I have a lot of responsibilities, but nothing like a man has responsibilities, in my opinion, to my standards. You know what I'm saying? Eventually, I'll get there. But this is why I'm getting 1% better, so that way I can bear more responsibilities and I can understand that this is what being a man is really about. But nonetheless, I digress. We're not talking about what it like to be a man. We're talking about you guys and women. I go back to that girl. It didn't work out. So I was leeching. I was like, damn, I don't really have any girls I can talk to. And then it clicked, like I said, like, I don't need to be occupied or giving my time to multiple girls. I need to be dialed in and focused on myself.
All right, y'all. He said it. That part right there is a key piece when it comes to retention, is being okay with being alone. That's one of the hardest things about retention, is being able to sit here and be like, yeah, I don't think I want to be alone. Like, I don't know how this looks. Isolation breeds discipline and isolation breeds success. But a lot of people don't want to talk about isolation like that because they think it correlates with other negative things. But isolation really will make you the best man that you ever seen in your life. It'll make you the biggest beast you ever seen in your life because you're really doing something from nothing. Like I said earlier about how that kiss may change things. Even without that kiss, what you gonna do? You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's the thing about when you talking to women and stuff like that. When one leaves, you wanna go catch somebody else. You wanna attach to something else because you're not comfortable with being alone. That's why you do what you do. That's why you move the way you move when it comes to women, because you don't know how to be alone. Now, but I can say is I had the issue too. I had the issue where I always had to be in a relationship. After I got a relationship, I got to another one. Like right back to back. It was not leaving the weight. Like my last relationship, when we broke up in October. I got in my next relationship in October, November, basically. I broke up with her. We broke up from November to March. We were together, broke up in February, March. I got in another relationship, June, July. and broke up with her in January and been single since then. So this is the first time I've been single for longer than a year. This is me. This is my story, right? And that comes from having that fear of being alone. And I know when I am single, when I am like not dating and stuff like that, I'd be super locked in. Or if I'm dating one woman, I'm super locked in. When it comes to multiple, it's a different thing. But one person, you're locked in. Now, granted, when you do have that one person, you are going to have kind of issues with the balance because you got to figure out the demand that person may have, but you got to set the tone on what you're going to do. If it's going to be once every 2 weeks, it's once every 2 weeks because you got a purpose, right? So you do try to find that balance, but you won't have a roster like that because you really won't have time for a roster if you're doing semen retention correctly and doing these different programs that we talked about. Hard 75, Whole 30, etc. No drinking, all of that. Your life is going to be different.
Because I find it super important that when you just simply focus your energy on yourself while you retain, especially because, bro, think about it. Imagine you're a guy talking to 5 different girls and you're hanging out with them. This is something that I did back in the day, and this is why I ultimately lost my first streak. I was entertaining so many.
Yeah, hear that? He said this how he ultimately lost his first streak. This is his story now. This how he ultimately lost his first streak because of that. Now, I do think a lot of men have the same issue. The same exact issue you're talking about. How do you navigate that? How do you navigate that? And that's the hard part. And then we talk about difficulty, that's difficulty. There's leveling up difficulty when you can get past through that type of test he's talking about that he relapsed on.
Girls, and I was having girls come over to my crib. And I was flirting with them. I was doing things with them. And eventually, your boy ended up releasing to the shit, right? Because I was too focused and occupied on the girls. Oh, man, yeah. And I was telling my guys about it. Like, oh, yeah, man. Yeah. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And like when I say I'm telling my guys, I don't really have that many friends, bro. Like I keep my friends to like a bare minimum of like 5. But nonetheless, I would be like, yeah, man, I hung out with this girl or whatever. And they already knew what was up, you know what I'm saying? And sometimes I made videos about it. A girl came over. If you guys go back and look at my older videos, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But it doesn't matter. Because you guys have heard of the saying, right? Just because you have a roster of 4 or 5 different girls that you can talk to, you do realize that she's not yours. It's just your time. It's just your turn.
Hey, that's true life right there. I don't care what situation you in. I don't care you've been married for 20 years. It's just your turn, bro. It's just your turn. And I done seen divorces that end 30 years, 20, 15. I done seen it. I've seen it. I personally had a divorce in 3 years. So I know what that time looks like as far as like when she's not yours, it's just your turn. When that happens, you ain't feeling bad about nothing no more. Because that's the facts. That's the name of the game. Because at the end of the day, you may not be the best one in that realm. Where I'm at, the location I am in the South, it's not a lot of productive black men like that. Not a lot of them that's doing the stuff that I'm doing. It's not a lot. So when you have men like me in my position on what I'm doing, I'm seeing different. But you put me in Cali, man, it's like millions of them. You know what I'm saying? So that's when it goes to the your turn stuff, man, because you got an energy and you got a mission you doing, but you got to know that it's a lot of men doing what you're doing. Your competition broadens. The older you get, the more you acquire, the more stuff changes in due time. And it's going to be more women that come around too. So once you know that, and they're your turn mentality, when you have that, you would not let nothing get to you that women do. You won't, because you know that, hey, this is just my turn. And your turn may last 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, or 30 years. Whatever your turn time is, it's your turn time. That's just what it is. And when your time is up, your time is up. And that's just what it is. It's the game. And I'm not saying this in a way just trying to like, have you not think that women aren't for you. It's just you have to understand female nature. Once you understand female nature, you will understand that it's your turn. Like I told y'all before, man, read The Wall Speaks by Jer, read Shattering the Feminine Frame by Jer. After you read both of them books, everything becomes liberating, and you know what the game is, and you will never lose no more. That's it. I'll get back to the video.
And that is very true. That is very, very true. Think about it, guys. When you have 4 or 5 different girls, you think those 4 or 5 different girls are really, really that interested in you that they're not entertaining other guys? Especially if they know that you're one of them guys that, you know, you're handsome, you can talk to multiple girls.
That's the thing. I told y'all before in my video, man. Y'all know that there's some women out there. They may not know you are retention unless you telling them you are, but you have to know that the women you talking to, that they probably talking to somebody else, and if they are, you the one that's on retention. You the one that's on retention. If she talking to 5 of them, you don't want on retention. Them other 4, they getting the cheeks. They slapping bellies. All right, and you got to be okay with it. And you got to be okay with it, because once you know that, you have to understand that I'm basically letting her go to the streets because I'm not for the streets, but these other 4 are, and they're going to do what they want to do. And you have to be okay with it, and or cut yourself out of it. Out of it. And the way you do that is tell straight up, hey, you want to be in a relationship one day? Nah, okay, cool. Peace out. That's it. Because you want to be in a relationship, that mean that we'll be exclusive and then I ain't gotta worry about none of them folks. Now, that's different. That's different. But you on retention anyway. You tell her to be celibate, basically. So the odds of that happening, slim to none, big dog. They're being real. That's why he said at the beginning of the video, just have time to yourself.
It's just your time with them. It's just your turn. She's going to move on from you. So when you're steady focused on them and fixated on focusing on the 4 or 5 different girls that you can talk to, how are you really building anything for yourself or with yourself? How are you bringing more money to your pockets? You really can't. How are you really prioritizing your health? You really can't, because you're too occupied having a damn roster to your name. That roster shit it's like, think about it. Like that roster shit is really for, like, I'm sorry, like 18-year-olds, 19-year-olds, 20-year-olds.
Hey, shots fired. I said 18, 19-year-old. Man, it's men right now 30 plus with rosters, 40 plus in roster, Big Beanie. The game don't stop. The game don't stop. These dudes are gonna continue to have rosters to the day they die. Because they don't, like you just said, they don't know how to actually navigate life without women. And they know women got cycles and all that type of stuff. So it's some dude out there that base it on the cycles of women. Like, hey, I know she gonna be acting a fool 3rd week of the month. She on the 2nd week of the month. She on the 1st. So I'll make sure I just talk to them every. I'm just saying, it's like that, bro. It's like that. They know, man. They will operate like that. I don't think the roster culture is gonna die down or go away. I think it's gonna be really higher than ever. Like, I just was in Florida, man, and it was literally a dude walking the street with 2 women, like holding both their hands and everything. And I was like, this is the future. This is the future, man. The future is gonna be tough, because when you're going through this era of the economy where the rich get richer and the broke stay broke, you're gonna start to see more women being okay with dating just successful men by sharing them. They're gonna be okay with it because they know that they don't want to be broke or be in a broke situation with a guy. So that's what I really want you to understand. Like, that's the biggest thing you need to know today is, like, the way that the word is moving. Rosters are continue to be there, but also women aren't gonna eventually be okay with dating the same man, because the way the economy is set up now, they don't want to be with broke dudes, and there's gonna be a lot more broke men around, and they're not gonna be okay with just being with the broke dude that's nice, or being with the broke dude that's, you know, in general. Money is a big factor, bro. So y'all need to know that off top. I really want y'all to know that money matters. As much as they may say it don't, it matters, bro. It matters. I'm sorry, it does. But yeah, I'm glad my soapbox on that.
Those who are 18, 19, 20, if they have the mindset of, I just want to focus on myself and ideally get better every single day, get 1% better every single day, I'm going to be so far ahead of the guys who are so fixated on having a roster of girls that they can talk to, or, you know, taking this girl out. I'm not saying don't talk or take girls out, but I am saying that You don't need to be prioritizing your time on all these women when you're not even in the position that you want to be in, but you're working towards getting there.
Exactly. Priority should not be women. They shouldn't. They should be probably number 4 or 5 on your list, to be honest. You don't want to have a life where women at the top. Chris Rock had a joke he said about it, and I completely disagree with it. He was like, I spent so much money on women. I spent so much time on women, all this stuff. Like I did the most with women, spent all my money, gave my money, all this stuff, and I do it all over again. I do it all over again. He said, I wouldn't do that. But I say that to say women live in our head rent free most of the time. And we have to understand that we have to prioritize ourselves for a period of time so we can just have them make us their priority, basically what happens. Because once you're on your grind like that to where you hitting numbers and you doing what you got to do and you're developing yourself, they're going to come to you and they're going to want to be around you. They're going to want to talk to you. You won't be doing the chasing as much. You won't be chasing really at all at that point because you're going to be a masculine frame. So you're just going to be like, hey, it is what it is. We're not going to be affected by what she does and like they don't keep going what you're doing. But when you move the way you need to move in your frame, you'll be fine. So that's why I do want to get into that. Like you definitely got to know that for sure. When you going into these type of discussions talking about women and making them priority, you have to make your purpose priority. Put God first, purpose, family, friends, girls. They'll probably be the ranking. So they number 5. So yeah, just do it like that, man. You shouldn't lose that way. But a lot of dudes got girls first over their family, girls first over everything because they smash and so they don't care about nothing else. So yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Having a roster of girls is ultimately going to slow you down and you're going to lose focus. You know, I did that back in the day when I was being a hoe ass nigga. You know what I'm saying? And then yesterday when the girl cut me off, it kind of made me feel some type of way because I couldn't go back to the old Big Beanie. Because I understand that in order for me to get 1% better, I have to focus on myself. So I made a commitment to myself today. And after, you know, this girl kind of did me dirty, I was like, yeah. I said on Instagram yesterday on my story, focus on yourself, brother. Focus on you. Focus on you, man. I'm so focused on this damn gym. I'm so focused on getting this body right. I weigh myself every morning. And so far, I've dropped down 5 pounds. I'm 195. I was once 200 just about a week and a half ago. Maybe 2 weeks. Because I came back from my cruise about 2 weeks ago. And I was a little bit heavier. Am I still recording? Yes, I am. I was a little bit heavier. And I realized, I'm like, I got to get my ass back on track. So therefore, I got to get 1% better. And how do I do that? I hold myself to a standard, right? And I forget the roster bull crap, man, because that's for kids, bro. I'm still a young adult. There's still a lot of learning that I have to, there's still a lot of growth. And I know that there's a lot for me to learn, but I'm willing to accept that challenge. But first, I need to understand that I don't need a roster to my name to feel cool or to feel like I need to fit in with other guys, because I really do not. If I just focus on myself, focus on my career, focus on my health, focus on budgeting, focus on me, focus on my relationship with God, if I just focus specifically on myself, I'm going to get better. I just stuttered. And it's the exact same way with you. If you just focus on yourself and give your time of the day, instead of giving it to women, bro, I put this on my soul. It's like going to the gym every day, man. I've lost weight because I've been doing what I needed to do. For the past 2 weeks, I've been going to the gym. And I've been slowly losing weight. So imagine if you just focus on yourself. And the gym is just an example. But if you just focus on yourself, you're slowly going to get 1% better. And that's where you want to be at. You want to have mental clarity. You want to have peace within yourself. And right now, I feel at peace with myself. Yesterday, I was filled with emotions because I was interested in a girl and it just didn't work. And I was like thinking so much about it. And I only knew the girl for 2 weeks. And it's because I put my time and energy into her.
That's a huge red flag that a lot of men have that we overlook sometimes. Now, he's being honest about and transparent about it. A lot of men don't talk about this because a lot of men feel that it's a pride thing, so they don't talk about it. But a lot of men do get early invested in women. I'm guilty of it too. I do the same thing sometimes. I haven't done it as often, but the early investment in women emotionally, physically, and stuff like that is because you most likely talking to a woman out of your league. Most times, you talk to somebody that you perceive is out of your league, and she may not even be out of your league. She just look better than you. That's all it is. She probably don't even got what you got, but you just think she out of your league because she look better than you. That ain't what it is, bro. Just because you look better than you don't mean it. So that's what I think the common misconception is. But like he just said, man, you can't get emotionally invested in these women early because, like you said, like we just said, we know that it's not our turn. It's just our turn, right? You're not gonna get emotionally invested there early. You got to be able to understand and decipher, like I said in my other video, as to what this woman role is in your life, because they all got a role. You got the role of the woman that's doing this or whatever. You put them in their place on their role, and once they in their role, you good. Ain't no problem from there. But the problem is you put them in the role that you put them in, and at that point, they may not even live up to their role, because that's what happens a lot of times with you guys. We have an expectation for this woman to be in a certain role, and she don't even want you in their role herself. Let's say somebody wants you to, be whatever role they assign you to, and you cool with it, but you tell them to be real, they don't want to do that. So it's just one of the things. Well, you're on retention anyway, so it's kind of like, when you're on retention, you really don't even do that like as much, because at the end of the day you're not sleeping with them. So it's kind of like a slippery slope. That's what I would say it is, slippery slope, because you're not gonna really want to do that. Like, you're gonna be like, nah, I'm good. But you got to be able to decipher what's going on and see what's happening, because if you continue on that journey that way, you're gonna be forever emotionally unstable with dealing with women. You're going to continue to be emotionally unstable. That's why these dudes are crash outs of women, because they are emotionally unstable because they don't have their stuff together, and that's where they at, and they don't want to see the woman with somebody better, whatever. Like these dudes that break up, all that type of stuff, right? That's what that is. But he made a valid point about that, and I know that happens because we believe these girls are better than us, or we believe that they're better than us, or whatever. That's why we treat them way, way better than we treat ourselves in some cases, right? Because they perceived as out of our league. Let's go.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that was wrong of me, but if I just focused on myself, I don't need to deal with that. Because that's the thing about relationships, or just talking to girls, bro. When you give them your time and your energy, hate to say it, but feelings start to come into place, whether that's from them or whether that's from you. Either they're going to start feeling you, or you're going to start feeling them. Yeah. And then that's when you start losing your focus just a little bit, because you're occupied on juggling this girl's attention or her emotions and whatnot, and then you're kind of losing yourself. Especially because human beings can't multitask. So I'm just saying this to you guys, for those of you who may need to hear this. Some of you probably got this already instilled inside your brain. You know that having a roster don't mean anything, because it's just your turn with that girl. But some of you may need to hear this, because you may be a little bit off track or off balance, because you're too fixated on talking to 5 different girls or 3 different girls, however many girls that you're talking to. You need to stop, in my opinion. I mean, at the end of the day, you're your own man. You're going to do what you want to do. But what I am saying is, if you just focus on yourself, just give me like 6 months, bro. Give me 6 months of just focusing on yourself, and while you watch me for 6 months straight. Tell me if you get better. Because if anything, if I'm getting better and you're watching me every single day, then you're going to want to get better. Mm-hmm. Ain't that supposed to be how human beings are operated? When you watch someone get somewhere in life, doesn't it motivate you? Mm-hmm. I think it does. So if you're watching this right now,
I call it the tethering effect, man. We see somebody else doing better. I think me and Big Bean on the same day together, I think, if I'm not mistaken. But this video here on day 10, I think this video was made 3 days ago. So that means that we both on the same day. This is a prime example of how iron sharpens iron. This is what this stuff is created for. This is why we make content like this. Iron sharpens iron. As you can see, he's talking about his experiences and what he's going through with the journey in real time. It's not like he's talking about something that's happening 5-6 years ago. He's talking about something that's happening right now in his day-to-day. And a lot of people don't do that now. There's a lot of creators don't do that right now, because it's one of them things where people have to decipher what they want to share. But he's deciphering exactly and explaining what happens on this journey and what potentially can happen to you and why you can get relapse, stuff like that. And when you see this man talking about this, you automatically be in your head like, man, let me work on it, or let me chill out on it, or whatever. It's just a mental note, but honestly, you automatically adopt it in your practice in some cases, depending on how serious you are. So he's right about this, man. It's a tethering effect. You see me do better, you gonna want to do better. We all gonna win, and we all gonna eat good. So just keep that in mind.
Focus on yourself, bro. Just focus on yourself. Take a deep breath and look at your life and see where you want to be at, and saying, I want to be up here, but be realistic with yourself. Be realistic with your be realistic with what you can actually achieve. Let's not try to go for Mount Everest if we've never climbed a damn mountain in our life. You're not going to make it to Mount Everest. You're probably going to die. So let's be realistic with our milestones and our goals. Mine is to drop down to at least 180. And once I get to 180, I want to see if I can get down to 170. That's a realistic goal that I can actually achieve within this year, right? So what is your goal? What is something that you want to get? What is something that you want to be able to hit by the end of this year? And if you give me a realistic goal in the comment sections, then you're going to get that. You're going to get there, because I'm going to hold you accountable to that goal if you watch.
See, that's what I'm about. It's another thing, man. This is why we talk about in these chats and stuff. Not chats, but we talk about in the YouTube community, is that make sure you put the stuff in the comments, man. Make sure y'all come in and talk about the things that you may need help with, because it's community in this. It's community in this SR thing. It's not a lot of us doing this. Not a lot of us doing this out here. And when not a lot of us doing it, man, it's easy for us to disconnect. But what I can say is this. He just said a goal that I actually want to attain one day. It's to be 180. I'm 195-ish right now, but I do want to be 180. But I know my 180 is different from his 180, because he's like 6'1", I think, or 6'2". But like I'm like 5'9", 5'8". And my 170, my 180, I look scrawny, and I don't want to look scrawny, but I do want to lose body fat percentage though. This is one of my goals, like getting down to 17% body fat percentage. But that's my personal goal. But y'all goal may be different, but you definitely should put your goals in the chat on his video or whatever. I'm gonna definitely tag him and everything. Give him all his credit, man, because this video is my first reaction video, man. And I'm glad that I didn't pick a huge YouTuber, because I think that this young man right here is gonna definitely have a way big following that he has now. I think he has like around 2,000 subscribers. I think he's close to 3,000. But I'm pretty sure he'll hit 10 and 20 and 30 soon. But I definitely wanted to pick a video that I could personally relate to, that talks about semen retention, that I can actually feed off this energy to create this. So shout out to you, Big Beanie, man. This video was definitely beneficial, man. I had to make a reaction video, my first reaction video, and I appreciate you putting this out there, man. And this, I hope this video helped somebody. But at the end of the day, man, I'm glad that you all tuned in. Everybody like, comment, subscribe to his channel, Big Beanie, and as well as mine. I'm pretty sure I'll probably do another one of his videos, a reaction to him, because he reminds me a lot of my younger self. And I think he's in his 20s. He reminds me of my younger self, man, except he has semen retention knowledge, right? I didn't learn about semen retention until I was like 28, and he learned it, I think he's like 23 or something. But yeah, either way, he's doing what he got to do, man. He's definitely beasting out there doing what he got to do, and these are one of the content creators I personally follow. And you should all too. You all should too, man. So without further ado, man, be said out. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, man. I hope y'all enjoyed this. My first reaction video. I'll see y'all next time.